Okay, we're doing this reading about would this person be happy to hear from you? And like, I've seen that other readers do readings like this, and I feel like torn about it, you know? But here I am in this position where there's somebody who I would really like to hear from, and I want them to know it. So if they're gonna watch this, that's the main reason why I'm doing this reading, but of course I'm going to make it a pick a card, so there'll be a couple other options here as well. So, you know, you think of the person that you have in mind, and, you know, even if you pick the same pile as the person that I'm hoping checks in on me, maybe it's just because you have a similar situation and similar vibration, so, yeah, I think in the past I'd probably been hesitant to do this kind of reading because I wouldn't want to lead anyone on. I wouldn't want to, like, I don't want to address anyone out there that might, like, take it wrong, because I've definitely had men come towards me that I don't want to lead on, you know, that I don't have interest in, and who sometimes even can't take a hint. And so I've had to be really blunt, and sometimes that, you know, then they get mad at me. But I think I've cleared out enough of that. So here I am. Would this person be happy to hear from you? What would be the response if you reached out to this person? This is the person that you have in mind. So we have these options, and it's going to be pick 1, the hemp oil, pick 2, the hemp cord, pick 3, the hemp container. Okay, so take a deep breath. It's a general reading. To only take what resonates as true and a remembrance and what feels right in your heart, you know? Anything else is not meant for you, okay? So let's see how it goes. We're going to start with pick 1. Okay. The person that pick 1 has in mind, they'd be happy to hear what would happen if pick 1 reached out to the person they have in mind. What would happen? First of all, I'm going to get a card to represent you. You're really in your power. You're really feeling fertile or virile, very, like, worldly, very in your power. And confident and capable. And now let's see what this person's energy is. Very passionate, driven, and like pursuing a new idea, pursuing new endeavors. So you're both in your power. You're both confident and in a good place. So that's kind of cool. Love to see that. Now, what would happen if, and also something that can happen in readings, you may have noticed, that energy can be reversed. So maybe this is your person and this is you, right? So just take it as it resonates. So one person's just really confident, fertile, has a lot going for them already, and another person is starting out on a new endeavor that they're really passionate about. And what would happen if the person watching this reached out to who they have in mind? You'd create a possibility. Let me see what else. That for a lot of fulfillment and a lot of love, a lot of positive feedback, a passionate exchange. I think it would really feed your confidence even more. Not that you need it, like, you wouldn't, you know, be knocked off your throne or anything. think you'd leave the interaction feeling great, being inspired even, and maybe it would cause one of you to want to retreat and go into yourself for a while while the fire was burning. Like maybe it would be like you stoked a fire and now you're just gonna like leave that fire burning while you go off and live your life a little bit more. Like, let's see, give me another card about this, please. And in that time, I think that it might bring up doubts after. Like initially I think it would feel really good, but then because one person would withdraw, then kind of those doubts and fears would kind of rise up. Anything else here? And maybe like it would be hard to juggle what you had started, like that fire that you got stoked, that possibilities. It would put you in a position of needing to adapt. I mean, these aren't bad things. Oh wow, look what you're adapting to. The Ten of Cups, that's divine love, that's blissfulness, that's blessings, that's relationship harmony and alignment, and celebration, the Four of Wands, joy, harmony, relaxation, and homecoming. Okay, I'm gonna say yeah. When both parties are in their power, like if you're feeling really good about yourself and confident, or if you're feeling really inspired and passionate, that's the good time to initiate communication. And that initially it could cause you to like kind of need to withdraw a minute to deal with a little bit of fear that comes up after the initial like happiness and rush that you get, but then it opens this possibility of fulfillment. Yeah. It's like it would be like planting a seed, and that seed would definitely flourish, especially with the way that you would be tending to it. And maybe the person that you'd reach out to wouldn't be as attentive because they're in this new idea. They're like, maybe that's why they would be like, okay, that sounds nice and stuff, but like I have these things to tend to. I'm like just in the middle of this. And maybe it would cause some fears to come up in one or both people when it didn't, like, you know, when the conversation or the communication stalled out for a minute. But eventually here it would lead to this, so I don't think it would stall out forever. I think it would stall out long enough for any fears to be dealt with. Okay, I think it's like a real possibility for good foundation to be built on this. Yeah, the time apart, the lull in the communication would not be an escape. It would not be for the reason of escape. It would be the reason of like having to now like adapt. Yes, this would bring two people together, and there would be, so even if you were not communicating like physically, there would be telepathy. It would open up telepathy for both parties. There would be a want to be together, that you would want to get together. And I feel like there would be like protection. Like, okay, so the contact would initiate something that you felt like you wanted to protect. Like it would be like valued. Okay, what needs to be said? Try again. So maybe this is someone from your past, someone that you have been in contact with in the past. It would make sense if it would actually like if it would like progress into something else. And look, I'm distracted. So when you do get distracted, right? When you initiate communication and then one of the parties needs to take some time to prioritize and adjust and is distracted by that, I think that's something that needs to be said, because that's what this deck is. What needs to be said. That would be something to share with the other party. I think that is part of why this is. Now let's just take a look at the Hermes deck. Just let's see what Hermes says. Spirit guides, you're being guided towards this. Maybe that's why you're checking in. Maybe that's why it's like, maybe it's like you were wondering this all along, and this is a very timely message for you because you'd been wondering, like, what would happen? Like, should I, shouldn't I? And you are being guided to it, right? And will have guidance throughout it. Okay? And this is from the deck I'm developing. So let's see what they say about that. Be an example. What is the example being shown to you? What example are you being? So really observing each party and being mindful of what example you are being for this other person when you initiate contact. Oh look, apologies are in order. So if there was a falling apart or falling away or a parting of ways, and now it's like you're wanting to try again, it's saying acknowledge that there are apologies. And then the answer is within. What would love do? What's in your best interest? So ask yourself, what's in your best interest? What would love do? Okay, so sometimes our mind, and it did note this, that doubts will creep up. And these doubts are going to be rooted in us from programming in childhood where, you know, love only came by a certain way. And you're going to just have an opportunity to see those things in yourself, see the patterns, see what you're being an example of when you act in that way. Like maybe you're being the example that you were shown as a child. And then you have an option, you know, is that the example you want to be? What would love do? What's in your best interest, given all factors? Wow. Well, I hope that's helpful. Pick one. That was very interesting. I really feel excited, and that definitely could be the pile that the person that I have in mind will hopefully pick, because that sounds about right for me. It sounds about right to me. That's what I have in mind, and I could be either of these parties. In a minute. I'm probably going to need a minute to get going on some of my ideas. I'm probably more like sitting pretty in this Empress energy lately, but I know that I have some inspired action to take. So I will be getting busy on that. Okay. Alright, I'm going to move on to pick number 2. Pick number 2, if you chose the hemp cord, which is a little bit beat up, that's why it's been removed from my necklace and is going to be replaced soon, but I had it nearby. And we're asking Spirit, what would happen if you reached out to the person you have in mind? What would happen if you reached out to the person you have in mind? And I'm going to get some information first about you and then about them. Okay, show me a card that represents the person that chose pick 2. Okay, you're very intuitive. You are in touch with your receptive feminine energy. You are receiving messages. You're in touch with spirit. You may be a reader yourself. You are probably psychic, or at least intuitive, maybe empathic. And the other party, let me look at this. Hold on a second. Page of Swords in reverse. Sometimes I don't know exactly what the reversals are of this energy, so I just want to be sure. Page of Swords reversed. When the Page of Swords reversed, all the negative characteristics of her come out, and she may become almost dangerous. Being gifted with a sharp and alert mind, she may use it for deception and manipulation. Okay. So, you are asking this question because you probably sense this energy of manipulation and deception in the other person. Maybe it's like they haven't been showing you their true self, but you sense it below the surface. Let's get another card about them. Yeah, I think you're looking at their potential. You are looking at their potential. Yeah, okay. You are looking at this person's potential. Not who they're being. Okay? That's hard. I can so relate to that because I have been in that situation where you can read somebody's energy and it's like, you know, you can see what could be, but this is what they're, and it's like, well, you want to hold space for what could be, right? So, you probably know already that could be a dangerous thing, but let's see what would happen if you reached out. What would happen if pick 2 reached out to the person they have in mind? Okay. Page of Cups. You should remember that the joy your projects brought in the first place to reclaim your imaginative spirit. A troubled person. Okay, so you would cause this person some worry, I think. 5 of Wands. The end of Rose, arguments, conflicts, and fighting and disagreements. The ending struggles, find common ground or solutions, reaching agreements, compromise, cooperation. Okay. Wait. This is the 8 of Wands. Hold on here. I had the wrong one. Hold on. That could still be significant because that's what I saw. Slow progress, lack of speed. They might ghost you, right? They might not even answer. They might just be very kind of upset. They might just be like... they might turn to themselves. 3 of Wands. Yeah, they may turn towards themselves. They may feel happy that they got you to reach out. Right? Maybe they've been trying to elicit that from you. Maybe that's part of the deception. There may be kind of like, you know, like magic going on in that way. Maybe they're trying to get you to reach out, and then they're not because they want to have a conversation with you, but because they just want to test out their magic. Knight of Swords. Yeah, this person, it doesn't look like it's worth reaching out to them. I think they're going to run away. And they're going to do it with like this smugness and happiness that they got you to reach out or something, or that you did reach out. And then maybe it will show them, you know, their capability, and they will continue on with their own plans for it. Let's see what this deck says about it. Tell us what would happen if pick 2 reaches out. I think they would maybe maybe it would make you feel good, like to poke the dragon or whatever, but like I think they would feel good because it would feed their ego in a way. Adjustments, chaos. Yeah, I think you can handle the chaos. I think you'd be fine with it, and I think they'd use it to feed their ego. And Hermes says there's unknown factors, right? That's what the Hermes deck says. Music. Maybe this is a musician. Maybe there's music involved. Maybe you would be inspired to express. And then a messenger of Zeus, assistant. Like, if you feel like you're being pushed to have this, and you don't think it's from their own manifestations, right? Then maybe it is something where they get pushed out of their comfort zone. It is a divine order, right? So you still have to trust yourself, I'd say. You know, let's see what else. Hermes, is there anything else here? More unknown, lots of unknown. They're not going to tell you. They want you to trust. Herder. Yeah, they want you to trust your own intuition on this. What needs to be said? My soul knows your soul. Twins. Okay, so this might be your twin, and as you know, if you're the chaser, they're gonna run. Yeah, makes sense, right? Is that always wrong? I don't know, but it's never worked out for me. Anytime I've been the one going towards the masculine, they never ever responded. It's like built into their program to like run away if the feminine goes towards them. They have to be the man. They have to be the masculine. They have to be the one to stand in their power. So we have to stand in our power to handle these overwhelming desires and emotions, right? And we can channel this expression, sensual expression that we want to put towards them into our own dance or music and being creative. How dare you? What needs to be said? Yeah. There's a bit of ego going on here. It's a power play. And maybe you do want to ask about trying again. And you want to just speak candidly. And, okay. So, what this is a pattern that you've lived out many times before. I think you already have tried this. You're just like looking at the same problem, trying to get a different answer from it. But it's a cycle. You've recognized that, and now you can break this cycle. So what is it? What is it that you can change in this cycle to create something new out of it, to temper all your energy out of it? You know, what is it that you need? If you need reassurance, give it to yourself that you're going to be okay either way. If you need to express sensually, give that to yourself. If you need to take your power back, give that to yourself. If you need to comfort a part of you that would be shamed by being ghosted or by them using their ego to create a power play, give that part of you love. And where does that mimic a cycle that originated in your childhood? Who created the dynamic where it wasn't safe for you to express your love and they didn't welcome your love? This person is obviously running away from your love. And they're doing that probably because of a cycle in their own childhood, but you probably have a matching one. It makes them uneasy when you love them because they haven't loved themselves. So the love that you're trying to give to them, just redirect it into yourself. You already know this, I know, but this is just an opportunity to break a cycle. Look, you got try again twice. And this is the higher way to handle this. This is the fair way to handle this. Maybe you do want to say try again to this person, and maybe that would be enough. Maybe that's all you need to say, and send them off on their own cycle so that they can see it in themselves. Maybe if that's feeling right to you, that's what's meant to be. Hold space for the other. Know they can heal and understand. Expect the best for them. And creative solution. Create a new solution. So that's part of like breaking out of this cycle. Right? It's like there's something else that you can do here. I'm kind of feeling drawn to like ask my fun deck, like because we got dance and music. It's like, what can you do? Where can you channel this energy? Call a friend, and if they're the friend, go ahead and call them. Clean up. So this is some places where you can put this energy. We got call a friend again. Pamper self. Yes, put the energy into you, because what you want to do is be in the vibration of being loved, of being cherished, of being safe to be loved. Okay? Make a skit or a vlog. We got clean up again. Call a friend again. Make a snack. Find a ball. Interesting. Alright. Anything else, Spirit, about what would happen if pick 2 reached out to the person they have in mind? Imbalance, excess, self-healing, realignment. We got temperance in reverse. Delays, frustration, resisting change, internal alignment. This is 2 about alignment, so you would see where you're out of alignment, and they would see where they're out of alignment. But it may delay things. It may cause frustrations. Like, you can see where you're out of alignment just by imagining this, right? And you know that their energy is going to respond to your energy. It's inevitable. As you heal, they heal. It will happen. It would just be repeating a cycle. But maybe you need to repeat it again to see it from a different angle, or to study it again, you know? So, all in all, this doesn't give you a real good conclusive answer, because it's up to you. You're creating your reality here. It says seeking personal closure, shortcuts, delays. So delays has showed up twice here. Action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking. Yeah, like, feel like it would be you practicing with your masculine energy, maybe. Personally, what I feel from this is, you know that you can do other things with that energy, and that there is a way to break out of the cycle, and that's by noticing the pattern and accepting the pattern, and then choosing again, choosing what you'd like to do instead with that energy. Okay? There's a creative solution, and it's not saying give up, right? It's not saying give up. It's like, I feel like it's adjust your energy first. Oh, maybe it's like once you get into the energy of pile 1, then you can do it. Because yeah, I feel like in a way I could resonate with this pile too, on the same person, that I would, but I wouldn't, in this energy, I wouldn't take the steps. I wouldn't. I've already tried it. I've already tried going towards this person, and that's what happens. They run away. And I know it's a cycle, and I don't want to, I have no interest in being in it. And I do know it has to do with both of us not feeling safe to feel love, to be in the energy of love in our childhoods, because of maybe like what came along with that. Like for me, if I was happy and in joy, I would be like interrupted and told to go do a chore. There was more important things to do, you know? And for him, perhaps it was like using his logical mind was more important. Doing practical things was more important than indulging in emotions, and feeling love made you feel vulnerable, and if vulnerability was not honored and welcomed in the household growing up, and in most of the households that I'm aware of around me that have been dealing in dysfunctional ways that wasn't welcome. It could be used against you, so why would you go there? So anyway, just things like that to keep in mind, and I'm going to end your reading there. I think you're very well equipped, and you kind of probably already knew the answer, pick 2. So you got this. Self-care sounds really appealing, doesn't it? And I hope this is helpful. Thank you for being here. I'm going to move on to pick 3. Okay, pick 3. Just clearing the energy for a minute here. And I'm going to ask the cards first. We're going to say, what would happen if pick 3 reached out to the person they have in mind? And first we're going to get a card on you, and then we're going to get a card on the other person. Okay, you're really feeling down. You're kind of low. You're withdrawn. You are feeling anxiety, and it's like you are seeking comfort, but okay, yeah, you're seeking comfort. Let's see what's the condition of the other person. The other person is very intuitive. Oh, so, okay. The other person is very intuitive, but also withdrawn, and their intuition is kind of opening up bigger right now. They're very loving, but they've withdrawn into themselves and maybe feeling kind of like you, just withdrawn. You're both kind of withdrawn. This person doesn't seem to feel as bad as you do. The person you want to reach out to doesn't seem to be in as much pain or discomfort. They're just kind of like with themselves. Okay? So what would happen if pick 3 reached out to this person? What would happen if pick 3 reached out? Let's see, what's this? 6 of Cups in reverse. 6 of Cups reversed. Letting go of the past and being ready to move on to the future. Growing up, becoming more mature, or leaving home. I think like you reaching out would cause them to dispel something that they thought, like a past pattern that they were living out and that they were trying to figure out, and that's why they're in this kind of seclusion and stuff. And maybe you're so stressed out about it because you needed to reach out to this person, but you didn't, and now it's like got you all anxious. And maybe they are even confused about it, because if they're like the High Priestess, they probably knew that you were going to be reaching out to them, but then you didn't or something. What would happen? The Magician reversed. Greed, manipulation, trickery. You may be masterful at manifesting. Illusion. Okay. Like, would you be trying to trick this person? Let's see. King of Swords and the Moon. There would be there would be no clarity, okay? There would be some mistrust. Because you're in this energy, you're not feeling confident. So this intuitive, loving person is going to feel all this anxiety on you and all this, like, heavy pain. And whether you mean it or not, they're not going to trust this fully, because they know that there's something here below the surface. And you're going to seem kind of cold and cutting compared to their loving, open heart. You're not going to be clear. You're going to keep things It's like, because you'll be dealing in a power play because you're not feeling strong enough to make yourself vulnerable to them. So you're going to present yourself in a way that is cold, hard. And this person has a soft heart. This person is loving. This person knows, can read you. But it doesn't mean that this person is immune to feeling slighted or feeling used or feeling disappointed or feeling undervalued or less important or not prioritized or left behind or left out or deceived, you know? Let's see. What would happen? Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. I think that both people would learn from the situation. Like, it wouldn't, you know, necessarily ruin anything. You would definitely learn. Let's see what this deck says, and then we'll see what the Hermes deck says. Got the Honor card, but it is in reverse. Yeah, like, how do you honor the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess? I mean, this is going to sound harsh, and it doesn't mean that just because you're in this phase right now doesn't mean that this is who you are. Just so you know, we're just looking at, like, energy, right? And energy changes with intention. And but I gotta say that as a person who could consider herself a Queen of Cups and High Priestess, to have someone who's mopey and Eeyore-ish approach me puts me off. Like, I've had to, like, really, like, put a man... I recently had a man come towards me who was in that kind of energy, and I didn't like it because he wanted me to feel bad for him. And I was like, I don't feel bad for people. I don't ask people to feel bad for me, and I don't feel bad for people. And you can do this, dude. I have compassion for you. I know it's difficult what you're going through, and I did, and I do. But, like, it's not my job to lift him up. That's so vampire-like. That's so narcissistic. That's so, like, I want to relate to a man who can pick himself up and who knows to come to me in the energy that I deserve to honor me. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to be mean, but he certainly did think so. He thought I was arrogant and put myself above him, and which I did not. Energetically, I was in a space above him. I was in compassion where he was in victimization. But, like, hello, like, I'm not going to come down to victimization just because he wants to hang out there. You know? Like, I'm not even in a relationship with him. He's trying to court me. Like, it's like, you know, like, I have compassion for that, but that's not attractive. And so, yeah, let's see what else. Foolish. Yeah, you would be left feeling foolish, and maybe the person would too. Maybe both parties would too, because, like, I didn't feel foolish in this situation, but kind of, just that no, I guess I didn't feel foolish, so I would have to say you would feel foolish. I mean, family creation. Maybe you would be reminded of patterns in your family where someone didn't have empathy for you and wasn't able to join you in where you were at and you wanted them to. And maybe by contacting this person who seems like a caring, loving, nurturing type, you want to relive, like, what you wanted from your mother, right? But, like, this person might not be there. Maybe they are. Maybe it is your mother. But what they can offer you is compassion and time apart. Okay? And it's okay to be upset and sad about that, because there's a child part of you that was sad and upset that the mother or the caretaker couldn't be there for you in the way that you wanted. So this situation is just being recreated so that you can love that part of yourself that needs your rescue. Like, say, as a child, you need nurturing and love. You're feeling down, you're feeling anxious, you got your feelings hurt, maybe kids picked on you on the playground, or your brother broke your toy, or whatever it was, right? And you want mom to be empathetic to you, with you, and feel bad for you and with you, right? You want mom to care. And you go to mom and she's like stressed out, busy, working on her own self and trying to, finish things up at work and worried about bills and trying to run a household and has 3 other kids that she's got to pay attention to and clothe and returning phone calls and right? So mom can't spend the time with you. And as a child, that hurts. As a child, you realize that your emotions are not being prioritized by the one person who's supposed to prioritize them. So that is too much to bear for a child, and it causes a fragment of you. Like your emotions, your emotional body fragments, and it freezes in time. And then this little piece of you that is still in that moment in time is holding the place for that energy. And it says, yes, now we feel bad when it's time to be vulnerable. Nobody's going to be there with us, and it doesn't matter. So don't pay attention to these emotions. Avoid them. Do what she did. Make phone calls. Go shopping. Tend to other people. Fix other people's problems. Put out fires. Be busy. Be productive. Be practical. That's what you do in the face of having emotions that are sad, because that piece of you fragmented off and is holding the place for that experience. Now, this experience now, today, that when you're considering contacting someone who's like this, who kind of fits the energy of your mother, it may or may not, it could be an illusion, it does seem like it's an illusion, right? But the reaction would be that you would be poked in the wound that's holding the place for that energy since childhood. Now this is a gift, because now you're grown up. Now you've handled everything up to this point in your life, and you're very well equipped to handle this too. And now you say, it's okay to feel disappointed when somebody can't be with me in my sadness. It's okay to feel sad when my mom doesn't have the time to care about me being sad and vulnerable and withdrawn and crying and anxious and worried and not knowing what to do, right? So now when you accept that part of yourself, you welcome it back in. You welcome and tend and reparent that part of yourself that needed a nurturing, loving mother. And you make it okay to feel those ways. And you give yourself what you needed, which is nurturance and love. And you make it okay to be in love. You can make it okay to feel love. You make it okay to be comforted, to be in a weakened state. It's totally okay to be in a weakened state. Just because this person isn't willing to go back down to where she got herself out of to be with you there doesn't mean that it's wrong or bad or you're lesser. All it means is now you have an opportunity to retrieve that part of yourself, so that when you have another situation come up where your feelings are hurt and where you're feeling anxious and you feel like you want comfort, that you know that you can give yourself that comfort, and it's totally okay. So then you give yourself the comfort before you go to a person like this. And now you can meet on even ground. Now you're both mature, functioning adults that understand that they can tend to themselves, right? So this is actually a very big gift in the situation, and it seems like a big gift that you could watch this reading without having to even reach out and be poked in it, right? Because you can just imagine what it would feel like being rejected when I tell you. Like, this person is not necessarily rejecting you, though. This person is most definitely holding space for you. They know what it's like. They know they've been there, and they know that they would do you a disservice by trying to solve it for you and trying to comfort you and trying to, placate your mood. because they've spent their time doing that. I guarantee this person already spent plenty of time trying to comfort people, be selfless and all that. And now she's willing to like stand in her own power and tend to herself, and she expects that other people can do that for themselves, so that we can all stand in our power and in our authenticity and in our willingness to love each other. Right? This is a really big gift, and I can understand that it also doesn't seem like it is, you know? Look, I have your back. You have to have your own back in this situation. And you can have your own back. And what a beautiful thing, right? Because then like, let's ask Spirit, like, after this person deals with how they feel, right? Attends to how they feel and reparents themselves through it, what kind of energy will they be in? What will happen? Well, you may have a little bit more to uncover, right? Because you may like gain some ground and then feel really strong and then not want to give up that space of feeling strong. That could happen, where you become inflexible, and instead of having compassion, you could have like this, like a boundary go up. But that's okay too, right? Maybe you need a boundary while you do all this inner work that's really sensitive, right? If you're going to start to do a lot of shadow work, it makes sense to hold a boundary to others. But just know that that's not compassion. Compassion is totally loving yourself through everything, so that you can also have your cup filled up, and then that overflowing cup, having traversed what you've traversed in yourself, affords you the ability to have understanding for others, and the overflow of your cup can be given to them. Yeah, okay, so even after you deal with this issue, there may be more issues that come up, and you might want to avoid them, right? You may want to just like stay stuck, stick in. But I'm going to say that the reason why we were asked to do that, to look deeper into this, is because that is always going to lead to results that are going to be this manipulation, where you're always going to have to be power playing with people. You're never going to win with somebody like this when that's the way you are. You're just wasting your time running in a circle of your own wounds if you keep doing that way. You have to withdraw within yourself, just like this person has, and tend to yourself. Yeah. You may you just go back into yourself and be like reckless and take risks, and not be in tune with who you really are and your own intuition. So if you can remember to have compassion for yourself, because this is a difficult situation you're in, right? There are a lot of childhood wounds that are going to be coming up, and you're going to see them everywhere you look. Not just with this person that you're thinking about contacting and that you maybe feel annoyed that I'm telling you wouldn't respond to you in a way that you want, but with everybody. You're going to notice it everywhere, because this is the time for you to withdraw within yourself and love all the parts of yourself that haven't been loved yet. It's as simple as that. There's more to know about this, okay? You'll be getting messages, not just through me, but everywhere. Like maybe you'll start seeing movies, or other people be talking about it. You'll see memes about it. There's a mystery here, though. Like you could start like taking steps into the unknown when you're okay with the unknown, but it seems like you're a little bit reluctant to go into the unknown, which is probably why you start acting like that. So just know that the way that this person got here was because they were the fool. They stepped into territory that no one had shown them they could go in. They were brave. You're going to need bravery to get out of what you're in. Okay, so this isn't to put you down or to judge you. Full compassion here. Full compassion from this person, I'm sure. We also got talents and skills. So you are very talented. I think you're very smart. You're very logical. You're very willing to adapt, but the way that you're adapting is just holding you back a little bit, right? You are kind of desperately holding on to that comfort zone in a way of control and power. But literally, what you'll learn in this journey when you're healing yourself is that the power is in vulnerability. That's where you get free. When you're no longer trying to control other people, you're free. So the polarity, meaning everything that exists, every energy, there's two sides of it, right? So nothing's good or bad. Accept both sides of it. So accept that it's okay to cope in this way and it's okay to cope in this way. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. But once you've accepted the part of you that wants to cope in that way, it opens the door to cope in whichever way you want, right? What's the most effective? What makes the most sense? And it depends on what your intentions are. And this initial phase of going into coping in this way, your intentions are fear-driven. But once you've accepted that fear and loved yourself through it, then your intentions are loving. You have to first love the part of yourself that is acting in fear to free yourself up to be able to act in love. That's what this person's doing. They're being self-loving by not going into those energies with you or for you, not rescuing you. They're doing you a great favor. And you may not see it that way at first, right? So what needs to be said? I would be honored, right? Like when you can say something like that and mean it, and you're not just giving it lip service, you're not just trying to love bomb someone, that's when you approach someone like this. We go good together. Yeah, like maybe this makes you really sad because the reason you want to contact this person is you do think that they're a good match for you, and you maybe see them as very healing and loving and desirable. And let's see how this person feels about you. Tell us how this person feels about pick 3. How does this person feel about pick 3? They see you. They're watching you. They are watching you. How does this person feel about pick 3? Unwilling to... Well, let me see what 4 of Pentacles in reverse is. Four of Pentacles reversed. This person wants to move forward without the hindrance of the past wounding. Yeah, this person wants to be mirrors for each other. This person wants to even the scales, to balance things out. This person is watching you, probably because they want to see when it's safe to go forward with you. Yeah. Six of Wands. Look, they want to celebrate with you. 6 of Wands. They are willing to be very public, vocal, and outspoken about your accomplishments and what you can accomplish together. This person is fond of you, wants things to be balanced between you, is holding space for you. Is passionate about you and feels bound, feels like they can't do much else, feels like they've done what they can do, is also being guided through dealing with you, right? Like, I'm sure they're learning a lot too, right, about themselves through this. Because maybe they didn't always act in this way. Maybe they before this, they were in different stages and phases, right? Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. This person is going inward so that they can let go of the beliefs about the past, about who you've been in the past and how you've been towards them in the past. They know very well, like, that you've been in coping mechanisms that were maybe unhealthy and that weren't working and that were reminiscent of childhood wounding, right? They knew that, and they want to leave that behind. They totally want to deal with you on a level that does not include that. And they think that there's a potential for growth and an opportunity, a new opportunity that could come from a balance between you. Okay, so let's see, any tips for how to deal with this? Says, do you love the totality of their existence or the fragments of them that cater to you? So that's something, pick 3, that you want to ask about this person, right? Do you, because this person does love the totality of who you are, they're just holding space and compassion for where you're at now. You know, they're just holding a boundary because they don't want to get caught up in it, because they know the dangers of it, but they're still holding space for you overall. Are you holding space for who they are? Or are you projecting onto them? Are you trying to take revenge on them when they're not giving you what you want out of this situation, right? Like, do you love the totality of their existence or the fragments of them that cater to you? So that's something to ask yourself. And that would be also reminiscent of how your mother or a caretaker treated you. Did they love the totality of your existence or the fragments of you that catered to them? And love all those parts that were fragmented, that tried to cater to them, right? And then mistakes are welcome for learning, right? This person's not holding grudges at all. So any grudges that you're holding, you can welcome them in for learning. What did you need to understand about it? That's all. Once you've understood about it, you can let it go. That's what this person's doing. And you are so kind. So recognizing that this is a kind thing for this person to do, that they're not trying to hurt you. They just see from a vantage point where they're more further along in their healing journey. That's it. That's all. They're showing you an example of what can be, not something that is above you. Trust me, this person sees you as an equal. This person sees you as an equal. Okay? Okay. Yeah, interestingly enough, this could also at one stage have been the message that I would have to share with someone who I'd want to hear from. So I don't know what stage that person's going to be at, and it's interesting because all 3 piles were relevant for different stages that we've both been in, I think. So, interesting. I know that I'm going to be looking to put myself in the first pile stage. So, if pile 1 interests you, you might want to take a look at that too, to see what it would be like when you're in that kind of energy, right? Because that's kind of like a different look. And these are all about energies and archetypes and how they work together, and how human relating can work in a fair way, and how it doesn't work. And we already know the places it doesn't work, and all I've done here is like dissected it in a way where we can pull it apart and see some of the more intricate, nuanced working parts of it, so that we can, understand them better and change what we want to change. And it's up to us to do that. Like, no one's going to do it for us. These are all things that have to be done with our free will. Okay? And that's why this person's in that stance they're in, because they know they can't do it for you, and they know they can't convince you to do it. They know that they could tell you and talk till they were blue in the face, and it would never change anything, because you would in the position that you're in, you would likely just take that as enough attention to feel better, right? It's like, oh, well, at least someone's paying attention when I'm in this state, just like I wanted my mom to, you know? But she knows that she can't even do that because you have to do it yourself. And you can do it yourself. You're very powerful, right? This Emperor came out reverse, which means you could abuse your power. But you are very powerful. You are an authority. You are a very strong, steadfast energy, and who is brave. You have the ability to be very brave. You can make difficult decisions. So I'm sure this person sees that in you. Okay, let's leave it at that. Pick 3, I hope that's helpful in some way. Thank you for spending your time with me, and have a wonderful evening.